We have multiple New York Yankees updates on a few different players, and this will have huge implications on the New York Yankees season, while the New York Yankees brass has spoken out on some of their players in Luis Gil and Giancarlo Stanton and what the return times of their injuries could look like and what their plans are to fare without them, and we're going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here as I just adjusted my mustache mid-talking. Let's jump into the video, guys. If you're part of that 68% that's not subscribed to Yankees Digest, this is the place to be for all New York Yankees content. We're trying to get multiple videos out every day. We're having a lot of fun. We're going to do some live streams soon. We got a lot of fun stuff coming. You guys don't want to miss out. But let's jump into the video, guys. We have a lot to talk about. There's a few different New York Yankees who have been dealing with injuries already this season. Luis Gil being one of them, the other one being Giancarlo Stanton. And this certainly has a lot of New York Yankee fans on edge. Luis Gil was the guy who has really been the scary one as he went down with an injury to his lat that a lot of fans were terrified of because Clarke Schmidt had that injury and missed the entire summer last year. And now, after a new update was revealed by Brian Hoke, a lot of Yankee fans are pretty terrified as Brian Hoke revealed that, well, this does say Brian Cashman, but it's just because I hit the wrong button. Luis Gil was sent to New York for additional testing. The hope is that Gil will be back sometime in the summer, with Cashman estimating that Gil will be out for at least 3 months. And Luis Gil spoke on this, saying it's definitely not the best feeling when they tell you something like that. You're not waiting for news like that. It's a tough moment right there to digest. You've got to start thinking of it, how to move forwards, whether that journey, whatever that journey might be. Now, obviously, it's terrible to see a guy like Luis Gil go down like this. Gil was the reigning Rookie of the Year, really, really elite pitcher. Could have been up to the Yankees' third starter this year, honestly. There was a lot of hope going into this season that Luis Gil would become an all-star player after the year he had last year, and finally having a full year under his belt, where now he wouldn't be coming off Tommy John surgery, and there would be a lot less fear of him burning out. And now, according to Cashman, this guy, the man who won 15 games last season with 7 losses, had a 3.50 ERA, which did climb throughout the season as he got tired. When he was at his best, he was pitching at a 2 ERA, and I mean, he looked like the Cy Young. Started all 29 games this season, had a whip of 1.193, so he was mainly healthy last season, but now is down with that lat injury that definitely has a lot of fans worried. Brian Cashman said that this is an injury that we'll see Luis Gil probably show up sometime around June. Brian Cashman's an ultimate optimist, meaning there's a good likelihood that if you've been around for the Brian Cashman updates for a while, you know this could mean a bit later than June. We might not see Luis Gil until around the middle of the summer, which obviously is a very, very swift punch to the face right there. Now, the Yankees, they do have a lot of guys that they can use up to this point. They have a lot of pitching still, which was highlighted by Cashman, who spoke out saying, or Aaron Boone, who spoke out and said, we still feel like we have a lot of good depth. You know, these things are unfortunately going to come and pop up at different times of the year, and the Yankees do have good depth. They have Gerrit Cole still, who's one of the best pitchers in the MLB, arguably the best. They have Max Fried, they have Carlos Rodon, they have Clarke Schmidt, they have Marcus Stroman, they have Will Warren, who's dealing as a starter. The Yankees have a lot of options, and they still can trade Marcus Stroman because of having Will Warren. So they have a bunch of options still. They have a bunch of good starting pitchers they could go to, but it does suck to see Gil go down, as he is, regardless, one of the best of all these guys I just named, outside of Cole and Fried. Very likely, I'd put him as the third best out of all these guys, out of the seven guys that I named. I would say Gil's third best. So it definitely is a major blow to lose Luis Gil. It doesn't mean the season is lost or anything, but it does make the Yankees pitching rotation a little bit more unsteady. All this being said, Yankees still have one of the best pitching rotations in baseball. There's no doubt about it. That top 4 is still absolutely disgusting with or without Gil. Clarke Schmidt's been great. He finally figured it out. Carlos Rodon's just been getting better and better since he signed with the Yankees and had that first year that was a down year. Obviously, Gerrit Cole is still Gerrit Cole, and Max Fried is an awesome signing who's just one of the best ERA pitchers and has the best ground out pitching in baseball over the last 5 years. So I like the moves the New York Yankees made over the offseason. I like their pitching, but it does suck to see Gil gone. However, there is more to talk about than just Luis Gil, as the Yankees are dealing with another injury that we all know about in Giancarlo Stanton. Now, there was also an update on Stanton, so here's some better news on injuries with the New York Yankees, as Giancarlo Stanton was revealed by Brian Hoke to have a second round of PRP injections in the city and is expected to rejoin the Yankees this weekend down in Florida, according to Cashman. Though Cashman said Stanton won't be able to do much in terms of baseball activities, it's still a return. It's still good to see Giancarlo Stanton coming back, as it means he's on the road to returning. Now, it's very unlikely that we're going to see Giancarlo Stanton play at the end of this month during opening day. It would be the first time he misses opening day in his entire MLB career. And it feels like that's the path that we're going towards. Look, if Stanton's going to end up missing the first 2 to 3 weeks of the season, the Yankees are going to start a lot slower. Their hitting is not going to be great, but they'll be able to survive without Stanton. They have a good defense, which is going to help. They still have Aaron Judge. Hopefully some other guys will step up. Hopefully Jason Dominguez will be huge for them, and we'll see Cody Bellinger likely have a good year, especially if he's playing on Aaron Judge protection, which there's a world where he does, which would be nice. The Yankees do have some options on what they could do. There's also a likelihood that Bellinger is the third hole hitter and Judge is second. I just want to see Judge bat third because that's where he's happy, and I want to do anything that makes Aaron Judge happy and the most comfortable because that's when we'll get the best version of Aaron Judge. However, we also saw Judge hit 62 home runs when he was batting second, so I don't think that's a big problem. Judge will do what Judge does no matter what. So there is that. The Yankees do have some offense, but Stanton's obviously one of their best hitters. He's always been one of their best hitters. Even through all the injuries, he's been one of the most consistent guys that the New York Yankees have had on the team. Throughout his time with the New York Yankees, he's been great. I mean, last season, as the DH, 417 at-bats, had a WAR of .7, had 27 home runs, a batting average of .233. He's not really a huge average hitter, but still, even with that batting average, even with the on-base percentage right below 300, he's still at a .773 OPS and an OPS plus of 115 with a slugging percentage of .475. Stanton's still great. The former MVP showed that he is still that player that he was in Miami and all these years ago in New York, as he just absolutely performed like a monster in the playoffs, as he always does. In the playoffs, he was batting at .273 with 15 hits, 7 home runs, 16 RBIs, 9 runs scored in the 14 games played in that 2024 postseason. He also won his first ALCS MVP or just Championship League MVP at all. He had an OPS over 1 of a 1.048. His slugging percentage was in the 700s, and on-base percentage was up at .339. The man across the board is better in the playoffs. We know the playoff G is a thing. It's been a thing for years. We've seen Stanton consistently be a guy who could basically carry an entire Yankees offense during the playoffs. So the Yankees need him healthy for the playoffs more than they need him healthy for right now, which is an important thing to note, as Stanton will find his way back, hopefully well before the playoffs. In the spring, he'll find his way back. We're not waiting for Stanton until June like we are with Luis Gil. We're waiting for Stanton until April is the thought. The hope is that he's going to be healthy, though. He said that it made it harder to grip the bat with the elbow injuries. So hopefully what's going to happen is he'll be able to get that back ripping down, and he'll be able to handle just rest is the only way to get past tennis elbow. The only way to get past this stuff through tendonitis is you just rest it. You let the inflammation go down. You can take external options as well, like getting the PRP injections that he's getting. That's going to help as well. So there is a lot going well for Giancarlo Stanton right now that does kind of lead to the belief that he should be back in around a month from now. That's the best case scenario. There's also a world where it takes longer than that, 6 weeks, maybe even 8, but I highly doubt that's going to be the case. Guys, let me know what you think down below. When do you think Luis Gil and Giancarlo Stanton will actually return to the team? What will they look like when they return? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Yankees.